Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Chris-Beth Cowie, and I'm the founder of EmpowerFX and the host of BizGrams. I have the privilege of inviting amazing guests to the show so that you get to learn about their entrepreneurial journey and the impact that they're making in the lives of their clients. Today, I am super excited because we have Dorothy Vernon-Brown with us here today. And Dorothy, welcome. Welcome,
Thank
I'm
you so
excited.
much, Chris. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, awesome, Dorothy. It's a privilege because, I think in our networks, my colleague over at Jelly Social, Amanda, said you need to talk to this woman because she's dynamic about marketing. So I'm excited to dive into that topic, the nuggets you have to share with our viewers. But before we get there, tell us about how you started your entrepreneurial journey.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, so funny. I actually had an interview with Amanda and Sanjeet last evening, and we went through that same thing. So I'm so happy to share my journey with you. So actually, I came out of corporate, right? So I came to Canada as an adult. So I worked in corporate Jamaica. Uh, back in the day, just let's say back in the day.
Yes.
I worked in, after university, I worked in the financial services company, financial services startup. It was such an exciting place. Many of you, I don't know, they're a powerhouse in the Caribbean. They're called Jamaica Money Market Brokers. I worked with them in the marketing, and that's when I got excited about marketing. So when I left and I migrated to Canada, I actually ended up back in financial services in the credit union system in marketing communication. So my entire journey has in corporate has been in marketing. And then because of who I am a big box thinker. I like to think outside of the box. And at the time, it was just time for me to move into this journey. Because somebody who is creative, sometimes you are constrained in corporate. Not to say that's a good or a bad thing. It's just what the time for me to move on had come.
Yeah.
And so I started on in the marketing journey, and people were saying to me, people typically turn to me, small business owners, people, entrepreneurs are asking me for marketing tips. And people were encouraging me, friends and other people were encouraging me, you should work with small business owners. I actually had decided I would work with small business owners because I would become one, and I was so passionate about helping people just like myself. And so that's how it all started. I was encouraged to move into this direction. I think timing was good for me, and I had the skills and I had the expertise. Of course, you never stop building that, and I continue to build that to this day. And so that's how it all started, and word of mouth, and then you started to put networking and systems, and then I've transitioned to online. So that's pretty much how I got into that. But if you had asked me when I started in corporate if I would have become an entrepreneur, I would tell you no. But once I got in there, I recognized that climbing the corporate ladder wasn't for me. It was not. It that wouldn't feed my soul. So I had to pursue the things that would feed my soul.
Hey, that is such a powerful story and one we oftentimes hear, that transition. And
Hmm.
it's funny, not to say, working 9 to 5 for corporations is bad at all. I felt
Not at
like
all.
as you were sharing your story, I felt quite empowered. I could feel the excitement of your startup journey in the financial sector, supporting in this way and really developing and honing those skills to
Hmm.
then bring that corporate lens and offering that
Yes.
to the small startups. I think that is a wonderful thing. So tell us a little bit about KBSquared small business marketing. What is it all about and what makes you unique in the marketplace?
Sure, sure. So AKB Small Business Marketing is exactly as it sounds. It is to help small business owners in their business to get before clients and convert them quickly. So as a small business owner, as an entrepreneur, we feed on leads and clients and sales. Without it is a lifeblood. Leads and marketing is a lifeblood of your your entire existence, whether we like it or not. So because you can be fantastic at what you do, and if nobody knows about you, then you end up with a very expensive hobby. So that's exactly what I do. I help business owners and entrepreneurs really find their right fit clients really quickly with a proprietary system that I've developed. And you talked about coming out of corporate. Corporate really set that tone for me because they're about systems. You learn so much. So I am really grateful for that journey that taught me um, what it was like to set up a sustainable business. So I'm really grateful for that. And that's what I bring to the table. Right now, it's all about a system. I know that I work with so many small business owners. I hear it all the time. They're, especially now that we have shifted and we're not going back to normal and that everything is about online, which is funny. I had been writing about this at least 3 years before, that the disruption is going to come. I didn't know how it was. I was saying to clients, you have to start putting together an online a system that's going to take you digital. And here we are a digital first world now, and it's not going back. And this is exactly what I help clients to do: digitize their business, set them up, set up a system so they get to a purchase the path to purchase. The prospect gets to a path to purchase much faster than they would, without that system or without the all the strategies in place.
Hey, and I think it is so powerful and much needed because, like myself here at EmpowerFX, we serve clients, and it's like, they have an idea, but not the full complete plan, how to close that, make the plan complete in the sense,
Correct.
where do you want the customer to end up in terms of that decision making? And I
Yes.
love the fact that you talk about in your marketing strategy, it's really looking at, okay, how do we, one, create awareness, create leads, and then bringing them on a journey to conversion. So talk to us a little bit about you mentioned a proprietary system, not to give us the nuts and bolts, but what is some of the key components or structures that organizations should have in place, even if they're small, just starting out?
Right. And that's particularly why they should have it in place, because
Yes.
they're small and just starting up, because you want to set the systems in place and the strategies from the get-go. In Good to Great, Jim Collins talks about getting the right people in the right spot and driving that bus. A
Yes.
lot of us don't think of the big picture. We think we're technicians first, and then we build out. The business runs us, and we're not running the business. And that's exactly what I do in terms of the marketing: is set up this proprietary system. I start with the who first. So my whole philosophy is around who. Who do you serve? Strategy first. Because once you have complete clarity around who you serve, you know what to serve them, when to serve them, why you're serving them, how you're serving them, what's your messaging. And that's where I start. Your who, your what, your when, your where, your why, your how. And that's what most people get wrong. They start with a product first and try to find the people to sell the product to. I start with the people first. And once you're solving a problem for a particular set of people, then it becomes easy to serve them.
Yes, that your music to my ear. And you said Jim Collins, Good to Great. I had the privilege of reading that book as well, and so insightful and rich content there. Ones
Yes,
that you could take from big stores and apply to your own startup as well. And you talk about that, people centered, who are you serving? Do you
yes,
understand the pain that they're feeling, the goals that they want to achieve, where they're located? And I think most entrepreneurs, like you've mentioned, they miss that, right? And
yes.
sometimes what I encourage people, and having the privilege of working with a lot of startups, is at first you may guess, you make some
Mm-hmm,
assumptions about
mm-hmm.
what their day in the life look like, what it is all about. But you must move from assumption to fact. So that means you need to go out and have those conversations with those particular target audiences to make sure that you understand them, right?
Yes, yes. So if I could jump in, and so you asked me about my unique system. So once we establish that, my unique system is around the digitization of that and establishing a system that relieves you of that time, that manual, a lot of the manual tasks that you do. Because once we establish who it is, we set in motion a whole digitization around it using digital marketing automation. And my marketing automation, and I co-founded another company with a business partner. So we focus in and we hone in on the email automation, on the chatbots, because we use chatbot automation, we use SMS automation, and in some cases, based on the kind of company, we use a digital wallet technology. So we're so and we know we're pretty far ahead in some of these things because we have been doing this and we've been talking about this for some while, and the world is now, small business owners are now recognizing the value of having these systems of digitizing, of automating things. So again, the business, you are running the business and the business is running you. And I think that's where a lot of small business owners fall down, is that they're working 15 hours, 20 hours a day just trying to sustain that business. That then doesn't become, that becomes burdensome. And you want a business that's not burdensome, that frees you up to do some of the other things that you love to do, and also that allows you to build on the foundations that you have, so it's sustainable. So if you need to sell the business, you have a business that's attractive and saleable.
Hey,
So
that is so powerful and much
yeah.
needed. Oftentimes we see a lot of solopreneurs. You mentioned the role of the technician. I say, and referring to the EMIT by Michael Gerber, he talks about
Yeah.
you're the visionary, you're the manager, and you're the technician, right? You have to do it all. But now the problem is when you perfect, going from A to Z in your own way, that's all you could do, right? Like in order to grow, you have to be thinking about teams and keep bringing people on board. And I think when you talk about that digital disruption and digital automation, you now as the leader, the entrepreneur, definitely needing to bring some sort of system, some processes that is simple, easy to understand to your team so that they can support you in that way as well. And to your point, it's like the day has 24 hours, no more, no less, right? And so
That's right.
being able to utilize your value to the highest capacity versus, okay, I have to chase this email. This person responded. What happens next? And I love, what you talked about with your digital product, right? That is super exciting to be able to help close those gaps for individuals that are working with you.
Yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely, absolutely.